The emergency lights of Titan Station flickered red against the observation windows, casting bloody shadows across the frozen spaceport. Aiden pulled his thermal coat tighter, his breath forming crystalline clouds in the sub-zero air. The station's life support had failed 3 hours ago, and evacuation shuttles had already departed with the last of the civilians. He shouldn't have stayed behind, but as a human engineer, stubbornness was practically encoded in his DNA. That's when he saw her, a figure huddled against the medical bay doors, scales shimmering with frost, wings wrapped uselessly around her trembling body. A Drakari, one of the dragon-descended species from the Proxima colonies, known throughout the galaxy for their healing abilities and their unfortunate vulnerability to cold. "Hey!" Aiden rushed forward, his boots crunching on ice-slicked metal. "What are you still doing here?" The Drakari nurse looked up, her amber eyes glazed with hypothermia. The wounded," she managed through chattering teeth, her elegant snout crusted with ice. 3 patients, in stasis pods, too heavy to move alone. Isabella. He could see her name badge through the frost. "You stayed behind for 3 patients?" Aiden knelt beside her, already shrugging off his coat. "Are you insane?" "They're alive," Isabella whispered, her voice carrying the melodic quality of her species even as her body shut down. "I took an oath." Humans had a saying, "No one left behind." Apparently, the Drakari had their own version. Aiden wrapped his coat around her, knowing it wouldn't be enough. Drakari biology required temperatures well above human comfort zones. In this freezing hell, she'd be dead within the hour. But those amber eyes, filled with determination even as death approached, sparked something primal in him. "All right, nurse," he said, scooping her surprisingly light body into his arms. "Let's get your patients and get out of here." You'll die," Isabella protested weakly. "The cold, humans can't." "Humans can't?" Aiden laughed, carrying her toward the medical bay. "Lady, my species evolved on a planet that tried to kill us every single day. We climbed mountains that would freeze your scales off just to see what was on the other side. We sailed wooden boats into storms that could swallow stars. Don't tell me what humans can't do." He kicked open the medical bay doors. Inside, 3 stasis pods hummed weakly, their power reserves critical. A Centaurian merchant, a human child, and an elderly Vaxxan scholar, all helpless. The emergency sled," Isabella murmured, pointing with a frosted claw. "In the storage unit." Aiden set her down gently, activated the anti-grav sled, and began loading the pods. His fingers were going numb, his lungs burning with each breath of frozen air. But he'd be damned if he'd let a nurse who'd sacrificed everything for her patients die alone on a failing station. "Why are you doing this?" Isabella asked as he worked, her voice barely audible. "You don't know me. You don't know them." "Because it's what we do," Aiden grunted, securing the last pod. "Humans are stupid like that. We see someone in trouble and we help, even when it's logical to run. Especially then." He picked up Isabella again, placed her on the sled, and grabbed the controls. The docking bay was 2 sections away. They had maybe 15 minutes before the station's orbit decayed completely. They didn't have 15 minutes. The corridor buckled ahead, explosive decompression warning klaxons shrieking. Aiden made a split-second decision, veering into a service tunnel. The path was longer, more dangerous, but it was their only shot. "Tell me about your home," he said, trying to keep Isabella conscious as they moved. "What's Proxima like?" "Warm," she whispered, a ghost of a smile on her frozen features. "Golden skies, thermal vents, my clutch mother's hospital overlooking the Crimson Sea." "Sounds beautiful. You're going to see it again." Aiden's determination was absolute. "I promise you." They burst into the docking bay with 3 minutes to spare. 1 shuttle remained, a battered human transport with barely functioning thrusters. Aiden loaded the pods, strapped Isabella into a seat, and threw himself into the pilot's chair. "This is going to be rough," he warned, firing the engines. The shuttle screamed away from Titan Station just as the structure broke apart, tumbling into Saturn's gravity well. Aiden didn't look back. His hands flew across the controls, coaxing every ounce of power from the dying ship. Beside him, Isabella's breathing had slowed dangerously. "Stay with me," Aiden ordered, cranking the cabin heat to maximum. "That's an order, nurse." "You don't outrank me," Isabella managed, but her eyes flickered with something beyond gratitude. Wonder, perhaps, or recognition. The rescue fleet picked them up 6 hours later. Isabella survived. So did all 3 patients. The story spread like wildfire through the galactic networks. The human engineer who defied death itself, and the Drakari nurse who'd taught him why. 10 years later, Ambassador Isabella stood before the Galactic Council, her hand clasped in Aiden's as they unveiled the first interspecies medical facility. A place where no one would ever be left behind, where human stubbornness and Drakari compassion merged into something greater. "He found me freezing at a spaceport," Isabella told the assembled species, her voice carrying across the chamber, "and taught me what I'd always believed, but never truly understood. That life, any life, is worth the impossible. That's not just a human quality, it's universal. We just needed to remember." Aiden squeezed her hand, scales warm against his skin. "And she taught me," he added, "that sometimes the best thing humans can do is fight for something bigger than ourselves." Their love became legend. But more than that, it became a standard. The Isabella-Aiden Protocol, they called it. A galactic covenant declaring that no sentient being would ever be abandoned, no matter the cost. Because that's what humans do. And now, thanks to one freezing night on Titan Station, that's what everyone did. The galaxy was better for it.